them discovering the wrinkles in their systems, and it's allowing ourselves to be surprised by their journeys. Let's get to know our favorite teams here in the PVL, the heart of volleyball.
Team standings opposites, PLDT and CAPITAL1 meet with opposite reasons for wanting a win here today in our first game. For PLDT to keep a two-game winning streak burning, while for the Solar Spikers a chance to arrest an early two-game skid. So, expect passions to fly as the heart of volleyball throbs and pulsates here in the PVL. Our game with Doc AJ Pareja and Franny Reyes will be PLDT against CAPITAL1, and later on in the afternoon, depending on what time we finish, of course, it will be Cherry Tigo going up against the Next-led Chameleons. Hello everybody, and welcome again to the Phil Sports Arena. Should be a good one because both teams have reasons for wanting to win, Franny and AJ.
Yes, of course. PLDT wants to remain immaculate in this league, of course, and CAPITAL1 needs to get on the winning tally. So PLDT is at 2-0, CAPITAL1 is at 0-2. Of course, nobody's gonna be eliminated in this preliminaries, but your standing at the end will be a big factor if you want to really keep going in this league. It's a long league, but every match counts, definitely.
And you were beginning to talk about the team standings. Yes, it's a long tournament, but you want to start winning. You don't want to get into the habit of starting to lose a lot or, skidding as far as the games are concerned.
Yes, as we can see, PLDT is on the top of the ranks right now, joined by Creamline and Signal. They're still unbeaten, while CAPITAL1 is looking to get their first win. Of course, as I mentioned, your rank at the end of the preliminaries will be important because as the pairing goes, of course, if you're on the top, you want to be able to get there, to have an easier or relatively easier pairing if you want to qualify into the next round.
Exactly. PLDT has won 2. They won in 4 against Next-led, and they won in 3 against Galleries. On the other hand, CAPITAL1 lost game, which I did Next-led against PLDT. She was absolutely brilliant, as we love to use this word, to activate everybody on the floor, and she had everybody going, and she was the best player in that game.
Yeah, actually, if you want your child to be good at volleyball, name her Angge. We have a lot of Angge in the history of volleyball who are really good. So, Angge Alcantara, 8th overall pick, the only draft pick of PLDT, but of course, making a case for her selection with high-speed hitters. Even if their veteran setter, Kim Fajardo, is a little bit sidelined for now, she is more than capable of being in the shoes of the senior setter.
But that's where the story is, and I'm sure Franny found that out. Then Kim Kim, or Kaf as we call her, has been establishing quite a relationship with Angge.
Yeah, definitely. I talked first with Angge. This has been a challenge for her to step up as a rookie. Now the setter, the playmaker of such a veteran team. And for her, really, she has to step up as someone that is mahiyain. She has to be able to communicate well and connect with all her players on the court. Now, Kaf has been giving her very minimal advice, but very helpful and useful advice. Things like, making sure the timing is perfect with the middle blockers so that they're able to convert those attacks well. Now, Angge said she is very much up to the challenge, but she knows she has a lot of catching up to do in order to really cement that connection with all her players.
Okay, now let's shift our attention to the other side of the floor. I remember when CAPITAL1 was starting, Coach Roger was telling his players, mga veterano naman kayo, bakit ba kayo kinakabahan? Ano ba ang problema natin? And indeed, this team has veterans like Layla Cruz, Patty Orendain, and the others. This is not a bad team, actually.
Yes, actually, during the reinforced conference, as much as I don't want to keep on mentioning Marina Tushova as the one who really brought a lot of attention to Capital One. Of course, it's a collective effort. They wouldn't be matching up 5 setters against the top teams if not a collective effort. And now this girl, Leila Cruz, she's one to look out for here now that it's the All-Filipino lineup. And with her height, with her power, for me, she's an ideal opposite. Just a little bit of maturity in the Pro League, and hopefully I see her more doing back row attacks, and she's really gonna be deadly. And hopefully she unloads here like what she did with Chocomucho with 16 points.
I'm gonna ask you, it's not in the script. Those back row attacks, you can do it. You're tall, you can do that. But what special qualities should you have? Of course, the set has to be perfect. What do you have to be able to do that?
Yes, of course, the explosiveness, knowing where to start your approach, and of course the broad jump. That would be really, really helpful if you're hitting from the back row.
It's good to know. Okay, now another player you want to talk about is Heather Guinoo, of course.
Yeah, Heather Guinoo, you know, the fans are very, very happy to see her on the court. And she actually told me that she's just so happy to have this opportunity to be playing, to be showing and proving herself. And she actually said the biggest challenge for her now is how can she further improve her self-confidence. That's something that she feels she's been lacking. And, you know, she has a long conference ahead of her to build that. And that's actually something that's a common theme for the Capital One team. You know, they have to build their confidence, push that urgency for them to finally get their first win in this conference.
Okay, and this is the segue for you to ask the question for everybody, Franny.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the different players, the stories, the matchups. So, of course, we have our Pilipinas Live poll question for this game, of course, which is who will be our rising star in today's match? Will it be PLDT's Angge Alcantara or will it be Capital One's Leila Cruz? Let us know at the bottom of the screen on the Pilipinas Live app or use the hashtag PVL2025. Now, Sev, KJ, I believe we do have another rising star actually
Okay.
here in the Phil Sports Arena right now.
Who is the rising star?
Our birthday boy, of course.
Our producer, Sinjin Reyes. You are the rising star for this day. There are no surprises, no graphics, no nothing, but a dear happy...
POG already.
Yeah, wala kang silbi. It's okay, so I'm getting my cue to get this game ready. We have PLDT and Capital One ready to hit the floor in just a short while when we bring you back to the heart of volleyball.
most about playing in the PVL is being surrounded by my teammates and being able to contribute in ways that I'm used to. But it was good being able to sit out and watch things from a different perspective. Hi, I'm Savvy Davidson, and PVL, I'm back. I am 10 out of 10 excited to play in this Filipino conference. I saw when I was, obviously sitting out, how they respond to certain things and how I can fill the holes and the gaps. At the same time, there's new things that I'm learning when I'm back at practice now that I feel like I can apply in game. My goals for myself for my first conference back are just getting back to 100%, whether that's a new 100% or my old 100%. But I do want to see my numbers in hopefully the top 10 in some category, whether that's attacking, point per set, whatever. I think that's a good way to kind of measure my progress throughout the season. Something that the fans can expect from me now that I'm back is probably just, I guess, savvy. The excitement, being able to play again, the competitiveness, and I hope they, enjoy it. Hi PVL fans, thank you so much for supporting me while I was out, and I'm so happy to say that I'm back on the court and you're going to be able to support us and watch us in the new PVL conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City for Season 8 of the Premier Volleyball League, the heart of volleyball. This is the preliminary round of the 2024-2025 All-Filipino Conference, and match number 15 features the PLDT High-Speed Hitters and their opponents, the CAPITAL1 Solar Spikers. Introducing the two national referees officiating this match. Our first referee, Bobby Celso. Second referee, Fernando Velarde. And now let's meet the starters first for the PLDT High-Speed Hitters. Opposite hitter number 5, Erica Santos. Outside spiker number 6, Savvy Davison. Middle blocker number 10, Majoy Baron. Middle blocker number 13, Del Palomata. Setter number 16, Angge Alcantara. And outside spiker number 17, Viola Ceballos. Starting libero and team captain number 8, Kat Arado. Head coach for PLDT is Ronald Ricafort. Now the starters for the CAPITAL1 Solar Spikers. Outside spiker number 8, team captain Jorel Singh. Middle blocker number 2, Sydney Egos. Setter number 10, Iris Tolenada. Outside hitter number 15, Heather Ginoo. Middle blocker number 16, Julia Ipak. And opposite hitter number 22, Leila Cruz. Starting libero number 18, RJ Rivera. Head coach for CAPITAL1 is Roger Gorayev. This match is held under the supervision and regulation of the Games and Amusements Board. It is PLDT versus CAPITAL1. The heart.
And here's a look right now at our starters for both teams, Doc AJ.
Yes, it's the usual suspects for the high-speed hitters. So let's see our featured player, of course, Savvy Davison and Angge Alcantara. Let's see how much Davison will be dropping bombs here in this match. But of course, It's a tall lineup for Capital One. We have some LaSalle players from Capital One and from PLDT
Both
matching
sides,
up with
no?
each other. So I would like to see the matchup between Cruz and Davison on the net. Hopefully they have a lot of rotations that it's them, because I want to see how Davison will go against the block of Cruz.
That should be something to look forward to as we have the first serve underway. Davison from the back. Tolenada drops a message and scores. You know, when PLDT was being introduced, I realized how strong an offensive team this PLDT team is actually. They came so close in the last conference. Of course, there's a lot of heartbreak with that, but just makes you stronger. First serve of Capital One lands in the net. We're tied at 1. Cruz, Santos rather, with the serve, and it's too strong. It's service error. Medyo very tense ang start ng ating dalawang koponan. Tingnan natin if they will settle down. Here comes the serve. It's in play. Jacked down by Ceballos. Elevated. Tolenada gives it to Jorel Singh. Longtime veteran player of Project Urayev. Franny, who had the best turnaround during the opening earlier, will do another one. Franny?
7, AJ, I want to talk more about Savvy Davison. She actually let me know that coming into this game, the strategy is very clear. They have to lock down Iris Tolenada of the Capital One Solar Spikers. She's a very offensive setter, and that all starts with them having good defense and a strong serve. They want to contain her so that she can't create for the Capital One team. Now, she also let me know that they have to improve on their sense of urgency for the high-speed hitters. Last game, they were very fun and calm, but they need to also know when to take it seriously so that they can have a strong and decisive win. Back to the panel.
Thank you very much, Manny Reyes. And our score right now stands at 2 against 3 as Ceballos will serve. Here's Tolenada. Jorel Singh blasting away. Here's the set by Anguet. Tolenada recycles. That is rejected, but kept in play by Rivera. Back row attack. Arado takes care of business there. Here comes the attack. Davison gets it before the line.
Davison, 2 out of 3 attempts already. Just going above the block of Tolenada there.
In the meantime, Ceballos will continue to serve. Fiola's serve. Look short. Tolenada sends it into the sky. Kat Arado prepares this attack by Davison.
3 big points already for Davison early on here in set number 1.
And she's so versatile. She can be, as you mentioned, in the back, on the left, on the right, even in the middle. As Ceballos' serve is in play. 1-point lead by the high-speed hitters. Chance to attack from the middle with Palomata.
What a connection there between Palomata and Alcantara rather. Going for that very quick tempo play.
You know, the point about Angel Alcantara, you know, if you're a young setter and you have all these great hitters, it can be intimidating. They can be demanding if you think about it. There are certain players who want certain sets, of course. In the meantime, Tolenada sets up Jorel Singh. Arada kneels down. Here's another drop into that hole. Cruz elevates it. The blast by Singh. Still in play. The drop and the mess up on the other end. Everybody seems to be out of place, AJ, on the Capital One side.
And Coach Roger has had enough, calls for time early on.
Yes, let's see what he talks about.
Pati drop ball, pumupuntos pa rin. Ano ba? Ando ka na kanina eh. Kaya sa isang pagkakamali mo, pinuntusan tayo kaagad ng ilan. Andun ka na eh. Bakit kayo tumitigil? Lamang tayo dyan eh. Bantayan nyo yung depensa nyong maigi. Pero bantayan mo yung depensa mo rito, ha?
Coach Roger reminding the spikers for more consistency. He's looking for more consistency, and so far it's Tolenada who's only had a point offensive-wise for Capital One. Jorel Singh has had already 7 attempts, but it's just a testament of the floor defense right now of PLDT.
Yeah, so far they've been able to contain Jorel Singh as she receives on the other end. They try her again, and she's jammed again at the net. That will mark a 6-0 run now by PLDT. Block of the set, hatid sa inyo ng East-West Bank, the official bank of the PVL All-Filipino Conference. Viola Ceballos has been there for a while, and that's 2 contact points. Tolenada knew it. She just naturally made an instinctive move. As we arrive at the first technical timeout, big separation created early on by PLDT. We will all be back after these. Tixa Sports and PLDT creating an early separation between them and the Solar Spikers. It's a 5-point lead as we just step out of the first technical timeout. It's a good point by AJ, and it's been the floor defense of PLDT that has been airtight and solid, denying so many attempts by the Solar Spikers here in the first set so far. Ceballos has been there forever. I don't want to jinx her, but she's keeping them in action. And this one is long, and she'll stay there. It's now a 6-point lead.
A little tentative in the approach of Leila Cruz. I commend her for her effort. So to go for those back row attacks, which I want to see more of.
Messed up Viola. Finally, she ends up her long service duty and gives the Solar Spikers their 4th point. We've got Tolenada, who played in Sanfo State. Down the middle we go, and nobody home to contain that.
Palamata, that's her 2nd attack point in this match. So good rotation for Del at the front, highly engaged by Alcantara.
And Della's been doing a good job of working on her hand action. Dati, puro flat ang palo niya sa gitna eh. In the meantime, I mess up Palomata, and she ends up giving the Solar Spikers their 5th point. You know, you're right about Cruz. She has good height for this game, actually. Outstanding height, in fact. Davison uncorks. Tolenada wants to go to the other side. Well managed by PLDT, high up, and Jorel Singh has 2 hands on it. This shot, it drops inside. Well done that time for either Ginoo.
Off-speed attack for Ginoo, just using the block of Baron to her advantage.
And in the service area, we'll have Jorel Singh, who also played for a long time for Roger Guerrero, but has also played for NU. In the meantime, Davison again, and this middle has been problematic for Capital One.
Davison mirroring that point by a while ago, going for that off-speed attack against the block.
Mark that as now a 5-point lead for the high-speed hitters. Rivera has to scamper for it. Arado solid on the floor. Davison. Roma Doromal, by the way, is on the floor already as the other libero. First long rally between these two sides. Davison taps it. In play. Tolenada. The shot. Down on the floor goes Fiola. Long rally. Doromal. This will score for Capital One.
Heather Ginoa, our featured player a while ago. Second attack point already. She's the only one, save for Tolenada, amongst the spikers or on the attacking tally for Capital One.
And we have Tolenada with now a passport to go out, and she's replaced by May Makatuno. May will now be the setter, I believe. Ipak and her serve. Oh, PLDT with some sloppy reception on their end. That's 2 straight points now for Capital One.
Something that they can build on is to keep on targeting Davison. She's been given much of the attempts so far in set number 1.
You're right, targeting Davison, but she attacks. That's now well covered. Gino set up by Makatuno, and that is blocked out by Davison. That's now 3 straight points by Capital One.
Just like that, lead is just down to 2 for the Solar Spikers.
It was as large as 7 when it was 10-3. In the meantime, here comes Ipak, who will continue to serve. Blocked, but that'll go down. Ending that brief run by Capital One.
Santos introduces herself here in this match with her first attack point. Something that Alcantara may want to consider more of, just to get a little bit of load out of Davison.
Yes, good point. Gino finds a connection. If I have your count right, that's about 3 attack points already for her.
Yes.
Okay. Davison has the most so far among the players on the floor with 4. And here comes Cruz and her serve. Ceballos fires a bullet and gets it before the line. Makes it 13-10.
Ceballos also gets her first attack point. Challenging the block of Niegos with that cross-court attempt just at the end of zone 6.
We've got Majoy Baron, their middle blocker, serving. Makatuno. Majoy has to dig. Battle at the net. Cruz lifts it high. Thought it might go out. It did not. Singh kneeling down. This is blasted at and scored upon by Niegos.
Gradually getting into the attacking board for Capital One as well.
Which you really want from a coaching standpoint, because it makes you less predictable.
Yes, better ball distribution, definitely.
True. Here's the blast by Cruz. Makatuno sends it to Singh, who gets finally something to work for her, and it's a check ball, a 1-point affair here in the first set. Good catch-up by Capital One, actually. The serve. Oh, they're targeting Davison. We're tied.
That's 2 service aces for Capital One. That was the same target. By going for hard serves against Davison, at least it can take her out of the equation with her back row.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ceballos' version. May Makatuno went. Oh, Leila doesn't seem comfortable yet with the back set, huh?
Yeah, very tentative, the approach.
Ano yan, ano? When you attack it, no hesitation, no? Go straight, ano?
Yeah. So parang yung approach niya is walang intention to kill.
Yeah.
So
either you do or you don't, ano? In the meantime, Niegos is denied entry. Jorel and Kath is there. Back row, Davison, too long, and that'll tie it up again. PLDT trying to claim there was a check. Will they challenge? I sense they will not. They will.
They tried, but I think it's too late.
Too late, ano?
Yeah.
Kasi nag-replay eh. Tapos biglang saka mo isa-challenge kung kailan matagal na yung ano. Pwede naman pagkatira. Gusto mo nag-challenge? Ha?
Okay. Referee Bobby Celso explaining the time gap when you can make the challenge and it will be allowed. That's the correct graphic. Challenge denied. And Niegos found a way to get it over. Blocked. Elevated. 2 touches.
Just like that, Solar Spikers now on the lead.
Sinagalang talaga eh, no?
It's the driver's seat after trailing by as much as 7, right?
Yes. And they settled down, found a way to get their rhythm going. Niegos and her serve. They got some service aces as well. Ceballos says, take that!
Ceballos has been targeting that end of zone 6.
Spike of the set at sa inyo ng Duncan. Pasalubong ng Bayan. Ceballos so far with 2 points and has had a service ace already. Makatuno with a good set. One-handed pickup. Regalo. Doromal said, let me take care of it. Here comes a good set. Doromal says, let me try again. Into the back row. Ceballos is there. Davison right in front of Roma. And we arrive at the second technical timeout mark. 16-15 tally. This is close and tight here in the first. We have a very fiercely fought first set here. And a 7-point lead of PLDT was nibbled away at. And through sheer patience and determination and some errors on the part of PLDT, Capital1 is now looking at the other side, eyeball to eyeball. But Yola Ceballos, who had a long stint of serving in the early part of this first set, is back at the service deck.
Ceballos at the serve means that Davison is back up front. Previous rally, she was able to hit a strong one with a sharp cross court.
Makatuno, Singh denied. Doromal lips it as a set for Gino. Santos was there. Davison finds the mark and scores again. A 2-point lead going towards the home stretch of the first set. Davison has listed 6 points rather across her name. And Ceballos is still there at the service area. Ginoo receiving. Makatuno. This is blocked. Ginoo says, let's try this. Oh, and Palomanda delivers a crucial point that gives him a 3-point edge. Moving towards the end, Roger Gorayab is up on his seat. He asks for a timeout. Let's see if we can listen in.
Iibabaw dito kaya yung depensa doon, tingnan nyo na maigi. Dalawa lang ang papaluin niya, iibabaw siya o cross-court siya. Huwag nang iiwanan dito. Ang lalambot ng palo nyo, para lang kayo nagbibigay ng kung ano doon sa kalaban niya. Ginaganong-ganon lang. Paluin nyo ng todo, para at least mahirapan man lang sila. Mag-o-open na lang ng mag-o-open yan.
Kaya. Okay, isa ulit. Capital!
Coach Roger Gorayab asking for some, intention to kill with regards to their attacks, because he's recognizing that Arado is making it look easy.
You know, that's a good point.
For them.
Parang andaling i-receive.
Yes. And with a good first ball from Arado, it's easy to set up Palomata, who has clearly the height advantage.
Oh, yes. That's exactly what has been happening. 18-15. Messed up first ball. It becomes this attempt. Reached that time by Santos. Davison says, let's drill in even more. Let's mine that area, that hole.
Yeah, they're going to continue feeding Davison in this rotation because of that height advantage against Makatuno. Let's see if Tolenada will be able to put up a better defense on the net. But Davison is really going for sharp cross-court kills, so might as well position your block a little bit towards her right side, open up the line.
Okay. Here's Singh. I think she got it just before the line. The 16th point of Capital One. Iris will be serving. Down low to Arado. Davison. Jorel Singh hustles with it. You cannot. If you're the libero, your delivery has to be just below the net. Tolenada. Clean block by Palomata. Second block by Palomata.
Not the best options for Tolenada because Palomata barely had to move in the middle. Could have just spread out the offense to the pins.
Prado is in to serve. Handled well by Ceballos. Davison punches. Tolenada. Ginoo. Mess up on the other end. A free ball given up by Prado. Tolenada tries to set this up. Davison, got it between two players. And she has 8 points already.
Keeps on going for those cross courts. The block is not positioned well against her.
It's not the timing, it's the position really. It's too far away.
They're covering so much line, but in her spiking position, there's no way that she can go for a stronger line attack.
Leila Cruz with a rather tentative attempt last time around, and now here comes PLDT making some big strides towards the finish line. It's now 22-16. Into the net goes Prado. And Pati Orendain is in, and the veteran from Bacolod will be doing service duties. One of her familiar beach volleyball teammates is on the other side, Viola Ceballos. Dug up. Davison. Here we go again. Medyo predictable na, no?
Yes. Like Leila Cruz, Ibak, they're very tall, but it's becoming a non-factor because of their positioning. I would rather Cruz really opens up, make a gap between her and the antenna so that Ipak can go for a block against the sharp cross.
You know, you really have to give Davison something to think about. In the meantime, that's double contact by Cruz. And we are at set point. Alcantara serve. Orendain. Cruz ends up tossing. And the open space filled up again by Davison.
It's all cross court. All
Again.
cross court.
And she is in twin digits, and she has 10 so far here. And this first set going to her almost exclusively has been PLDT, actually. And we'll get the second set all set up for you in just a short while. First set ends in favor of PLDT, 25-17. Not tell the whole story because there was a stretch na lumamang itong CAPITAL1.
Yes, definitely. Towards the mid part of set 1, actually CAPITAL1 had found their groove. They were having a better floor defense. More spikers were being engaged. But once again, when Ceballos went up to the service line and Davidson was back up front, she was basically unanswered in that last stretch of the first set. As we can see, attack 17 compared to just 8 of CAPITAL1. Even the net defense went the way of the high-speed hitters, 3 blocks against none. Although CAPITAL1 was able to catch Davison off guard with 2 service aces, they weren't able to capitalize and build on that, especially towards the end.
And let's see if Roger Garayev shuffles his roster in preparation for this second set. Already I see number 5, Des Clemente de Guzman, is already on the floor. Guinoo stays, Singh stays, as you take a look at the leading producers so far. And the serve, I think, will belong to CAPITAL1, if I'm not mistaken. We're just fixing up the position of everybody here. So if in terms of adjustments, AJ, you talked about the blocking of CAPITAL1. What other areas do they need to work on here and do better at here in the second set?
Well, getting the first ball definitely is of greatest importance because the middles weren't really much of a threat in the previous set for CAPITAL1. To take some load off Singh and Guinoo. Guinoo is the so far lone bright star in terms of efficiency for them.
So we are underway with your second set, and Des de Guzman knocks in her first point coming off the bench for the second set. Cross-court attack touched last by the back row.
Yeah, that's the one we want to see more of from Capital One, having the middles as a significant threat.
And you know, you get this feeling that Capital One seems to be playing heavy. They have to lighten up, I guess, and be a little more enthusiastic. In the meantime, there is the first point of PLDT.
Ceballos using the block to her advantage. And she's back to the service area.
Yeah, she'll stay there. She lives there. She has a condo over there. Ipak can't get it to fall inside. And this is the point of Roger Guerrero. You have to hit a little harder, although that seemed like it was more for a dink than a strike. Jorel has other ideas. Some scrambling on the part of PLDT. Davison gets it off the block. Such a smart player.
Recognizing that it wasn't an optimal set for her. Just tooling the block of Tolenada.
Those split-second decisions you make when you're in flight. And this one is whipped outside. Let's whip it over to Franny Reyes.
7 Doc AJ, I just listened in on the huddle of the Capital One Solar Spikers, and Coach Roger Gorayab actually said they are very, very quiet on the court. He's not feeling their eagerness in their attacks and the way that they play, and that actually reminds me of a conversation I had with Iris Tolenada, who said that, you know, this is a team that their mentality is being tested right now. They need to have that eagerness, that want to win and want to score each and every point. They're not able to convert each attempt, but that's something that they have to dig deep in order for them to do. Now, Iris also told me that they're often on the same page, maybe not quite on the same sentence, but slowly she knows that they will be able to get their first win. Back to the panel.
Excellent report, Franny, and this is exactly what is happening on the court right now. Hawa. Somebody has to wake them up, really, actually.
Yeah, especially with the attack, because they're so far getting some good passes from Ginoo.
In the meantime, they get something on the board via that route, and it's their second point. Watch it again.
Tolenada takes it into her own hands, literally, finding that big gap in the corner of zone 5.
Lakas ng feeling ko, mga set ang lalaki ng corner of the eye talaga, eh, di ba? They see those things. Oh, good pick up that time by Rivera. They don't want to waste it. Arrado sends it into the net. Davison fires and gets it again just before bouncing away. Second look, please.
They want to get Davison being more confident with the down the line attack.
Oh, such a deep corner she got there. Palomata's serve in action. That will work, I think. Oh, but it's still alive. A free toss to the other end. Becomes a set by Iris. Davison wants it back. Ginoo hitting the deck. And that'll work. I thought the ref should blow the whistle there, but it was a good no call. So it's 3 against 5 here as Pati Orendain will serve. One of the veterans of this game. Nice slide to the floor by Iris. Alvarez rather takes care of business with that attack. Davison, oh, that's her favorite for the day.
Well, it was a better position block. It's just that it wasn't pressed on the net.
Oh boy, the walking wounded Cap and Kim Kiana D. We're spending a lot of time watching nowadays, watching FIBA basketball. And we understand that, of course. In the meantime, the fans love her, even if she's just watching. In the meantime, kuha pa rin. 4-6 is the count. Watch this.
And a full let's see if they can close the gap here.
Which they were able to do in that second set, actually, and led very briefly. Davison lands short.
Ball was too wide from the net in that set.
The very brief fling with the lead of Capital One was when it was 15-14. But then all of a sudden, it was ended with a furious 11-2 run at the end by PLDT to close the first set at 25-17. That's blocked, but Alvarez alert, kept it alive. They cut it up. It's in the sky. Davison goes lefty. Tough angle to work with. Arado is rock solid there. Davison fills up that hole again.
That's her strong suit. So unless Capital1 finds a solution to that, she's gonna keep going for those kinds of attacks.
You gotta give her something to think about if you're on the defense.
Yeah.
You gotta put a
Get
hand
her
on
out,
it.
yeah, get her out of her comfort zone, her comfort options.
Orenda in. Called Melada. There's a blast that time. Handled well. They want to go to Des again, I think. But no, it's the fake. Oh, it's hijacked. And we arrive at the first technical timeout at 8-5. PLDT still controlling the momentum of this match. Time to resume the second set. We take a look at the block of the set. Not too many of them, but if it's really special, it'll be brought to you by East West Bank, the official bank of the PVL, the Filipino Conference. PLDT trying to look for its third straight win. On the other hand, Capital One still looking for its first after losing their first two. There was that game against Cherry Tigo wherein they had the 2-1 lead, but they still lost it in the end. Cut shot in the air, acrobatics by Zibalios. Davison, sliding set. It's alive, no whistle, we play on! And that hole remains a black hole, really, for Capital One. Yes. Yung mga broken plays, ano? Yung out of system. Yung defensive placements ng Capital One need some work, huh? And a good counter that time. Knocked in by Heather Gino. Tama ka eh. Alam mo, masyadong spread out at ang baba ng production ng lahat ng tao sa Capital One. Oh! Oh, and Santos now beginning to feel a little more comfortable, getting a good set. And it's a 10-6 count here in the second. always wonder where that strength comes from. Not the biggest of frames, and her body type, I'm sure you know this better than I. Yan na yan eh. Yan na yan. Hindi na, di ba? There are those people who are built that way and just so strong. Yeah. And we have a timeout. Time to bring in the microphones and the cameras.
Sunod, di pumasok ka sa drop ball. Doon kayo nakapokus sa open may isa ka pang tao rito. 2 beses ka nang pinapaluan mo. Kulungin mo. Kasi nandun kayo naka-concentrate doon sa open mayroon kang tao dito. Yun yung pababayaan. Ha?
Capital 1!
And we welcome you, our late tuners, on our different formats, of course. I think you'll be receiving us on all our sports platforms. Gandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Sam Sarmenta, Doc AJ Pareja, and Franny Reyes reporting to you from the Phil Sports Arena. And our score right now stands at 11-7. The undefeated PLDT high-speed hitters trying to stretch their streak to 3 games. Capital1 looking for their first win. Boy, they are unstoppable in that hole. Palomata drills it in even more.
A good matchup in the front. Clemente and Palomata.
And we're all set for this serve. Nice slide by Ginoo. Patty trying to hammer that down. Don't come back. Des de Guzman blocks solidly. Palomata knocks it in.
2 block points already for PLDT. Palomata making it easy for the net defense.
And it's not even an assertive kind of blocking. It's just well-timed.
Just being in the right position.
Oh, yeah. Basically. And a nice drop again, making it 3 straight points. They arrive at 14.
PLDT playing a much more efficient attacking.
Yes.
Compared to Capital1.
I'm sure their percentage is quite high. Huh?
Yeah.
Alvarez taps it over. Ceballos whips it. Ginoo handles it. That's a tough angle for Patty Orendain. Back row strike. Nice drop to the deck by Rivera. Patty hammers it hard. Fiola counters. Des lifts it high. Iris. Orendain. Reached by Davidson. On 2 we go with Angge. Yeah, got it. And that's what Roger Gorayev was asking. Hit it hard.
This Clemente 2 out of 3 attempts here in set number 2. Good 66% efficiency. Something that Telenada might want to do more of.
Maximize, no?
Yeah.
Get more dividends. They're down by 6 currently. 14-8. Des did not start today. There's the shove. Boy, that's hole.
Palomata also doing a good job for PLDT 2 out of 3 attempts also.
And it looks like we'll arrive at the technical timeout with a substantial lead by PLDT. They also took the first set, and boy, there it is. And we'll take a short break for the technical break. 16-8 tally here in the second.
16 for PLDT, 8 for Capital1.
gentlemen. Franny, Franny, do it.
Of course, Sev, AJ, we have another person we mentioned earlier that we cannot give more attention to. So to our EP, happy birthday.
And this is Sinjin. He is one of our anchors and one of our producers. Hey, come back here. Come back here. Come back here. Stay on camera for a while. Wave, and happy birthday to you. And I think we pulled it off. Ayun, late naman yung queuing nun. Okay, back to business. Back to the heart of volleyball. In the meantime, 16-8 tally here. It's Patty who's hitting hard, actually, although it's not scoring, and that's going to connect. It's defense. It's defense, really. As you take a look at that spike of the set brought to you by Duncan, pasalubong ng bayan. Sorry, Davison. Now, I think she'll get another 20-point game. She's already at 15. Kat says, chase that. Nice set by Tolenada. Good track down. Sibalio said, I did my best, but my best was not good enough for that one.
Orendain finally gets one in after a series of attempts.
Look at the effort here of Fiola. Bang. Good spin, but hard to control the ball when you're moving in that direction. Iris will be serving. Team currently down by 8. Alcantara sets it. Davison, ooh, touch last by Rivera. That looked like this was going out. But who could tell, really?
The cross court.
Yeah.
Favorite spike of Davison. So it was already a broken play. So easier for a lot of time for the blocks to set up. It's just that it's not on the best position.
Niegos gets them to grapple for it downstairs. They arrive at 10 points. And we're going to see Mika Reyes on the floor for the first time. Here's Patty. Davison. Punched up, pushed over by Doromal. Down the middle we go. Arendain kneeling down. Shola. Fiola. Mika. Cross. From the back row we go. Iris. Oh, nowhere to go. Either had a tough angle to contend with. He was so close to the antenna, actually. Watch this. And Roger, go ahead, sorry.
Not much space for Heather Ginoo to go well-timed or well-positioned block for the high school shooters as Coach Roger calls for
Nakita
time.
na natin ang butas nung sa depensa. Alam na natin kung saan dadalhin. Pero nakatunganga pa rin tayo. Nakatulala eh. Tulala tayo na alam na natin kung saan dadalhin. Pero hindi pa tayo kumikilos. Hinihintay natin na nandyan na bago tayo gumalaw. Konting anticipation sa bola.
Boy, the coaches can only say so much. Miko Halili, we're Content and Signal TV head. Smile ka naman, Miko. Angge. Good shot by Shola, but handled remarkably well. Doromal sliding. Oh, kept in play. Niegos trying to stop it. A hand on it. Oh, valiant stand, valiant effort. Best scampering, but still they couldn't control it.
Mika Reyes with that crossbody power tip. That's what Coach Roger has been saying in the previous timeout. It's almost predictable already where the ball will be going. It's just the team is showing some lack in anticipation.
You know, if we were to do a spike chart, if ever, it's clear where it's going. Oh, that's a clean hit. Gino, the lone bright shining star for this Capital One team with 7. Sidney Niegos rather, is going to serve for Capital One. One of the starters. Davison, tough pass, becomes a toss. Gino uncorking. Oh, that's on the line. And it's a 10-point lead.
Santos, 3 out of 5 here in set number 2. Very respectable 60% efficiency.
21 serving 11. Serving Sammy Davison.
Davison will be serving, and into the net she goes.
Service error that they can still afford at this point. High-speed hitters still up by 9.
Number 14 for Capital One, that's Keisha Bidonia seeing action for the first time. In the air we go. Tolenada, Doromal. Tolenada becomes a spiker. Tolenada digs it up. Ooh, hits the face of Roma Doromal. That's always hard at the net. Yung ganong kalapit. There's a way of hitting it.
Yeah,
so
let the ball bounce with the net.
Yes, and then spin it up eh.
Just get it from way underneath.
May pectus dyan na pwede may hook na over or itaas man lang. That's, hey, Des has played well coming off the bench.
3 out of 4, 75%.
Des Clemente de Guzman. Doing well here coming off the bench. That serve sharp and true.
You know, so far making everything work for Capital One.
And they're 3 points away from taking a 2-set-to-love lead. And this match where Capital One is still pining, looking for its first win. That's denied. Reverse. Alvarez got to it. Clemente, door shut on her. Doromal hoists it. Orendain blasts away, has not been that successful. Pushed up by Alvarez. Tolenada. Orendain, Arado, rock steady. Ceballos. Nice slide by Pati Orendain. Back row attack, Gino. Oh, big strike, big connection.
Either Gino keeping things afloat for the Solar Spikers.
Oh, yes, indeed. Prado has returned now.
There's almost all the second stringers for the high-speed hitters.
Yeah, Austerio is also there on the floor. That's Chel Austero. A major change in the lineup here. Alcantara will hit the bench, and I see Jesse De Leon. Number 15, Legacion is also going to be there.
So it's a full second stringer front line, or rather the entire rotation.
Malamig, malamig, malamig. (22-16). Des on her serve, just above the net. Down the middle we go. Is it out? No, it was touched last. And I think Austero got that to bite.
Capital One seems to be gonna challenge the call.
But they're taking a little too long. Will they allow it? We have not had a clear challenge so far. There's a discussion going on. They have to make a decision about the challenge or not. Maybe we can put a mic there. Yes, no, yes, no. The challenge will hold. Okay. Earlier we had an attempt at the challenge, but it was not granted because of the length of time it took them to get the challenge in formally. Referee Celso has summoned his lines judge. But the challenge is already in review. Well, I wonder what kind of challenge we'll have when we have the Men's World Championship next year in September. How fast it's going to be, huh?
Should be.
And look at this. Let's take a look at this. Layo.
There's no touch.
Layo. No. And I think we will replay the point. Which is now the contention of Roger Gorayev.
Sino bang nag-challenge? Sila nag-challenge eh. Teka lang, liwanagin natin. Sino pumalo? Sino pumalo? Oo. O sige, punta natin sa ano. Anong challenge niya, Coach?
However, there's a counter challenge by PLDT.
Okay, here we go with an interesting scenario. Ball in, ball out challenge now. Because if you're PLDT, you're close to the finish line. Want to end this now?
Yeah, definitely. They would want to give like a dash of hope for Capital One.
Because, you know, officially the score is, I think, 23-16. Not even close.
Yeah.
Challenge unsuccessful. Point and serve to Capital One.
Yep, that's the right score. It should be now 23-17. Here we go. Des Clemente's serve. Prado blasts away. Tolenada. Orendain punches it through.
Still not out of the woods for the high-speed hitters.
Di pati matsagaya. Talagang parang grinding down concrete. Talagang pinagtsatsagaan. Nako, mess up, mess up. 3 straight points by Capital One, and Coach Rod said, sandali. Time to listen in.
Hindi naman malalaglag ng pusa eh. Wala pa namang lock. Puro ganun yung maikli. Hindi naka-establish.
Pag ganun kataas na sa ano?
Bungay-bungay yung press. So yun naman talaga bandi.
Kaya bulit. Hindi.
Hindi ka tayo, hindi ka.
This is a small example of somehow relaxing because you think you're out of the woods already, but you're not.
And the challenge for this current players inside the court is to finish it as much as possible, because push comes to shove, they might run out of substitutions to bring the first.
You know, that's right, huh?
Starters.
Now that you mention it, might as well finish it that way. I think got that divide, and we arrive at set point. You know, the challenge for Roger Gorayev is not really volleyball expertise. It's really outlook management. It's grit establishment. Tolenada. Here's a cut shot that time by Bedonia. Down the middle we go. And that'll bring Capital 1 to 20.
Matthew already starting to come alive here towards the tail end of set number 2.
Here's Iris. And that'll do it. And close the door on the second set. It'll end at 25-20. Brief opportunity for Capital 1 to get some points going towards the end, but they ran out of points and ran out of a set. So at the end of 2, it's a 2-set-to-love lead by PLDT. Playing that badly. It's just 2 areas possibly, and AJ, you can confirm this or add some more. It's really the enthusiasm and their defense, actually. Those are the areas that they could possibly improve on.
Yes, definitely getting or setting up the offensive, because compared to PLDT, they're really lacking in terms of the output with their offense, and they're not able to establish that set play if their first ball is not on point. As we can see here, 18 compared to 13 in terms of the attacks. It's still the block net defense that is working well for PLDT. It's easier for them to anticipate where the hits are coming from Capital One, and easier for them to set up their defense. And in terms of efficiency, Capital One is clearly not playing as well as PLDT. Davison had 6 successes out of 15 with just 1 error, so that's a good 30%. Baron is not the only is the only one without a score offensively for PLDT, but the others are playing with better efficiency. Santos 4 out of 8, so that's 50%. Ceballos 2 out of 8, 25%. Palomata actually 2 out of 3, so that's 66%, and they had those 3 blocks. Whereas with Capital One, it's Ginoo was the highest scorer, but out of 17 attempts, she was only able to chip in 4 points with 2 errors, so the efficiency is on the lower side. Clemente is the one that has the highest percentage, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, and she didn't even start here today.
Yeah. Alvarez had no successes out of 10 attempts, so still the opposite is missing in action for the Solar Spikers.
And let's see if Capital One can take a set here, or if PLDT has plans for going home early or preparing themselves to face another training day tomorrow. And some new faces being let's check the lineups. Some of the starters are back for PLDT actually. On the other side, Roma Doromal will start as libero, and we will have serving, beginning fireworks for this third set. Dug up from downstairs by Davison. Orenda in, denied entry. Doromal resets. Orenda in, did she get it? It's a check ball. And a challenge right off the first point of this third set. Will we have it? Yes, we will.
Santos and Palomata denying any touch with the ball.
You know, the good thing I've always said that the challenge is added to volleyball is taking out the excessive complaining of everybody, you know?
Yes,
Yung coaches going bananas.
Definitely.
Players going bananas. That's why referees suddenly had to be very strict about the protocols, the yellow cards, red cards. And now the challenge is please the things that can be challenged sort of keeps the peace in the neighborhood layo.
Yeah.
Challenge is successful, and therefore PLDT will get the first point of this third. The drop, and PLDT gets its second straight point.
That overpass is a no-no once you have a tall middle up in front.
Alam mo, gusto ko yung grit ni Patty Orindain eh. Yun dapat ang grit nitong Capital One eh. Can't be taking this lightly. This is a professional level, you know, and this one is long. Bad start by Cap 1. They're down by 3.
Yeah, they wouldn't want this lead to balloon early on. They have to get things going while Davison is at the back row.
Doromal, good first ball pass, and they get their first point finally. Clemente continues to contribute.
Clemente de Guzman really has high percentage with those running attacks. It's a good matchup against Ibarra. She has the height advantage.
Tangkad na siya. Gumagalaw pa siya. Kung minsan may matangkad, hindi ganun bilis gumalaw eh. Ceballos hammers that down and the nail is ready in the wood.
Ceballos go back to the service area.
Yeah. She has stayed there almost all afternoon. Uh-oh. Double. Oh, it's a lift. Catch and pass scenario here. The old school call for that is lift. And the new sobriquet, of course, the new phrase is catch and pass. 5-1. Preparation. Orendain gets it off the block. Hammered. Kept in play. Nice dive to the floor by Ginoo. Orendain finding an angle. Arrado. And on two. Alcantara tried to be crafty there. Tried to be sneaky. Roma. Bit of a joust. And a takeaway by Iris Tolenada.
Setters always win the joust. Setters always do. As a middle. I'd rather joust with another middle, but not the setters.
Why is that so?
I think they had better anticipation of the ball. They really wait for us middles to jump first, because whoever jumps later usually wins it.
Will lose the out on that joust scenario. Oh, good jump into that, but look at the slide by Doromal. Oh, she avoided the ball. And now we are at 5-3.
Davison is so far better checked by the blockers of Capital1.
Uh-oh. Awkward shot. Not exactly the best set that time. She tried to make do, actually. We have the count at 4-5. And Iris Tolenada will be serving. Straight and true. Palo Mata. That is jam. That's hijack.
Block point by Davison finally to stop on the momentum of Solar Spikers, as Cruz is now brought in for Alvarez.
You know, if they can really maximize the height of Cruz and Des, this is quite a team, really. Tolenada. Cruz curls it in. Mika Reyes gets it to bite, and we have a chance to send it to Franny.
Sev and Doc AJ, I actually got to speak with Mika Reyes, who let me know that in their last game, they gave up that third set. And it was a reminder to them that you can't win a game in just 2 sets. And actually, Coach Raldo was telling me that for him to have a good game, or for him to believe his team played a good game, they have to be mature and efficient. They need to be aggressive, and they need to be dominant. All things that we can look forward to seeing more from for the high-speed hitters as we head into our first technical timeout.
Okay mga kaibigan, tayo ay nagbabalik dito sa Phil Sports Arena at ang PLDT trying to end this quickly with a 3 sets win. They are in command of the third, 8-4. I would suspect, and this is not a wrap against PLDT, they're playing just well enough to close this game actually. They're not throwing any extra punches, AJ, actually.
Yeah, at this point, actually, it's only Reyes, Ceballos, and Palimata so far with 1 point apiece.
Uh-oh, touch last by PLDT before it flew out.
When you get that first pass, it's easy for Toledano to set up the signal.
Here's Patty. Oh, ganda mong set. Ganda ng set. Ako, pag alam ko maganda yung set, usually puntos yun.
Yeah.
Di ba, no?
Can already call it.
Oh, no? For some unexplainable reason, pero alam mo kahit ikaw yung naglalaro ka sa kanila, naku, ganda.
The approach of Santos, knew she was gonna hit it hard.
Kasi the nice set creates time, it creates acceleration.
Yeah, and vision.
Vision, that's the most important, I think, I guess. We are now at 10-5. 2 straight points now by the high-speed hitters. Bungled by Patty. They will have to dig it over. Ceballos sends it high. Oh, big strike by Santos. As we present to you the spike of the set. Brought to you by Junkin. Pasalubong ng Bayan. Another timeout by Capital1 in progress.
Mag-survive para magkaroon ng isang set. Magka-chance tayong manalo. Pagka ang loob ninyo mababa, hindi tayo mananalo talaga. Tatambakan na naman tayo bago tayo mag-aabot. Kung kailan na oras di peligro, tayo pipilo.
Take your pick. Roger Gorreeb is either your grandfather, your uncle, or your father, and you went home late last night. And because he considers you an adult, he talks to you straight and no words minced. In the meantime, 12-6 count. You know, I enjoy our conversations. We see each other in a mall in Robinson's Magnolia, coffee, ice cream with him. And he makes kwento. Love listening to his tons of stories, actually.
Years of wisdom.
Oo. Nagsama dalawang matanda. 12-6 ang count natin. Tinaas ni Niegos. Tinaas ni Iris. Palo ni Hither. Lapit. Muntik nang tumama sa net. Alcantara. And Angge thanking her lucky stars. They scored the point there.
Quick reaction mid-air by Santos. She's now 3 for 3 here in the third set.
You know, Davison may not reach 28 today, but boy, she's approaching the 20-point mark, actually.
She's yet to score a point here in set number 3.
Because the rotation has not really swung around in her favor. Corenda in, it's close to the net. They'll have to make do. Alcantara, Arrado serves a hot volleyball to Viola, who has 8 points.
High-speed hitter showing that it's not a Davison-centric team. Reyes has 1, Santos has 3, Ceballos has 2, Palimata has 1 here in set 3 alone.
And that's good if you're a setter like Angge. That's why she did so well in that game against Nextlight.
Reyes blocks Des de Guzman.
Block of the set brought to you by East West Bank, official bank of the PVL All-Filipino Conference. Set up, block, but it's out. And we arrive at 6. Should we be at? We are at 15. Sorry.
Ceballos is also 3 for 3 here in the third.
playing well, really. Davison serve. Nice and right downstairs. That's short.
Cantor trying to get Davison going. Still yet to find her first point here in set number 3.
Cruz is set to serve. Alcantara pursues. In play we go. Uh-oh, nowhere to go. That was a problematic setup job for Santos.
A little too far from the antenna, too sharp.
Parang all dressed up, nowhere to go actually. Di dumating yung grab. Nice slide by Kat Arado, who's doing everything. And that is out.
CAPITAL1 doing a better job at the service now.
And scoring the last 3 points of this third.
Putting enough challenge for the passers of PLDT.
But this is exactly the point of Roger Gorayev. Kung kailan oras de peligro saka tayo hahabol. You really have to start very strong. All good angle. That is such a delicious spike by Santos. You could see it from where we're sitting. It was going to bounce out of reach. 69. We will be back. With the count of 16-9, CAPITAL1, a team in search of its first win in 3 starts, in dire straits as of the moment as this PLDT team, which is hoping to extend its 2-game run, in control of momentum and the flow of this game. Iris Tolenada setting up this. Viola! Doromal knew it was out of reach. She was standing up when she hit it.
Ceballos is still immaculate here in set number 3. 100% efficiency in 4 attacks.
You see the reaction of Roma. You know, when you're standing up, when you're digging, it's usually problematic.
Yeah.
You really have to be down, in fact, close to kneeling. Nice drop shot by Ceballos. That's not going to cross, but it's still in play. There's no whistle. We play on. That is denied, and finally the point belongs to PLDT.
18-39.
You know, he's going to be replaced in the CAPITAL1 roster. Torres is in for the first time. Nobody in double digits on that side of the floor. In the meantime, Torres denied. Door closed.
The 5th block point for PLDT here in the 3rd set. They had at 3 apiece for set 1 and 2.
And that has really been helpful for their cause. Sliding into the timeout.
Ay, ba, Miss Universe? Pinapanood niyo yung kakampi niyo? Diba, sabi ko, di bali ma-block basta may coverage. Eh, wala kayo coverage eh. Tapos mabablock yan. Ano aangat yung bola? Ha? Eh, pagka ganyan, aayaw ng palo yan. Paluin mo ng todo, Jenya. Huwag kang mag-deal, ganun-ganun lang. Paluin mo.
Okay, let's go! Kaya, Go, Kapitan!
If you've listened to Roger Gurayev as much as we have through the years, that's a common sermon he delivers. Paluin mo.
Classic Coach Roger.
Diba? And why play this game if you're not gonna hit it as hard as you can? That's the point of the game, for it not to be returned. Nicely arced form by Santos, and it's still in play. Hello, Regalo. Chance for Santos. On 2, yes, they've earned that point. Excellent effort.
Let's see if this will be the spark plug for the Solar Spikers.
Ang laki ng habol na yun. Is that Cruz? Yes.
They were able to drop a 7-point lead or eat up a 7-point lead in the first set. Let's see if this will make it possible for them again. Not with that serve though.
And Torres gives them a point that brings PLDT to 20 points. Coach Roger wants to make a change. Ginoo will pull out Torres. On the other side, Jesse De Leon and Legacion will come in. Santos is drawn out.
Santos had a good set 3, mirroring her set number 2 for success out of 8. Very good 50%.
So many scorers for PLDT. Davison 17, Santos 11, Fiola Ceballos with 10. And again, on the other side, not even a single player in twin digits. Officials discussing something. And we will play on. Legacion. Oh, Jurel Singh makes it. I thought she missed.
Singh finds the hand.
She's been trying so hard since the start of the game,
Yes,
actually.
definitely.
So far, collecting 3 points. Des De Leon. And that is in. Second look here.
Macro attack nonetheless for Leila Cruz. First point here is at number 2.
Des Clemente serving. Oh, wicked shot. Ceballos with 11. And they now arrive at 21. Here's another look. Prado comes in as we're taking in that slow-mo for Davison. Nice to see Prado back in action. Had a bout with an injury last year. In the meantime, that's not handled by PLDT. Capital1 arrives at its 13th point.
Still not out of the woods for PLDT.
No, they're not.
Full front lines for the Capital1. This is the best time for them to make a run.
Mahirap lang, AJ, pag umabot na ng 20 yung isang side, ano? Ang hirap din humabot. Kailangan bago yung middle part of the set. That's where you need to make some moves. Nice pick up that time, but do they keep it in play? They're blocked. It's outside, and look at this. 2 straight points. Iris Tolenada will be serving. Just above the net. Prado. Pinoy receiving. Lifted high by Ceballos. And De Leon denied. 3 straight points now.
I think that's the first block point for Capital One.
Throughout the game?
Yeah, they had none in set number 1 and 2. Whereas PLDT had 3 for set number 1. Now they have 5 here in set number 3.
Iris Tolenada serves. Legacion sends it to the other side. The whip by Prado. The reverse set. And it's hit long and out on the cross.
Quite an awkward position for Cruz in the air.
Austero will come back in, replacing Del Palomata. I think everybody who's in a uniform has seen some action here today for PLDT.
Yes.
Except for probably a few. I'm not sure. I'll be double checking. In the meantime, Niegos missing badly. 23-15.
I don't think the second libero has field.
Yeah, I don't think so also. Si Isa Piray. Looks short, it is. Jarrell Singh, the captain of the Solar Spikers. And we will arrive at match point.
Jesse De Leon putting enough power on that attack from the right wing.
Jesse will serve. They have 8 match points to spare here. Gets one back.
Finally joins the attacking tally here in set number 3. She has been silent all throughout this set.
Yeah, and finally gets into twin digits.
Not too late.
And Mika says, let's go home. Let's go home. And puts the feather on the cap for PLDT. And PLDT now winning its 3rd straight. On the other side, Capital One losing its 3rd straight match. Mika finding that hole, which has been the problem for Capital One all night long. We'll have the game wrapped up with Franny talking with our best player and some numbers that we can ponder on to dissect the result of this match.
25-17, the victory for the PLDT high-speed hitters. Coming up next is the champion team of crossovers versus the next leg.
digs, and 7 excellent receptions. Congratulations, Kath Arado. Kath, I know this is your 3rd straight win, pero saan pa kayo nagkulang? What would it take for PLDT to have a perfect game?
Siguro, unang-una yung reception namin. Kasi nga, yung mga next games namin talagang malalakas na yung service nila eh. So kailangan namin yun mas maging consistent pa siguro sa reception. Kasi madali na lang ang buhay pagka may magandang receive kami.
At buti naman na merong Kath Arado ang isang PLDT. But speaking of your next opponents, you guys will be facing Cherry Tigo on December 3. What is on the practice plan for the high-speed hitters?
Siguro papanoorin muna namin yung game nila ngayon, next game. And sila coach naman, talagang naka-ano naman sila sa amin eh. Naka-focus naman sila sa amin kung anong gagawin namin. Siguro mas more on consistency pa yung gagawin namin, lalo na sa training.
Kanina sa dugout na pag-usapan namin ni Coach Rald, yung maturity and efficiency. Sa palagay mo ba, nakita mo yung maturity and efficiency ng teammates mo na yun?
Opo naman, kasi syempre sa training naman namin, lagi naman din namin tinitraining yun, yung mga pagkukulang namin individually and as a team. Siguro kailangan pa, yun nga, kulang pa eh. Kailangan pa talaga namin maging consistent para makasabay kami dun sa mga top teams.
And it's a good thing that we do have a long conference ahead of us. Kath, now is your chance to greet the supporters and fans of the PLDT high-speed hitters.
Gusto ko lang po mag-thank you sa mga taong laging sumusuporta sa amin, sa families namin, and sa management na walang sawang suporta. At saka, happy birthday, Coach Nolls! Happy birthday po, and thank you po.
Thank you so much, Kath. Congratulations once again. Sev and Doc AJ, let's close this out.
Okay, thank you very much, Franny Reyes. And you won't say it's a dominant performance, but I would consider it a consistent performance by PLDT here today.
Yes, definitely. Not a dominant one. Capital One had some fight in some moments of the match, but every time they were trying to go for those attacks, Catarado makes it look easy on the floor and easy for PLDT to mount a counter-attack. And it's in those transitions that PLDT was much better than Capital One. But every time they were in ball possession, they have a higher chance of executing the rally. Had some bright moments for Capital One, especially from the middle with Des Clemente, but the wings were not as consistent when it comes to compared to those of the high-speed hitters.
Exactly.
Ceballos and Santos even had put up a decent candidacy for the player of the game in this match, but of course it was Arado who was able to set up everything for them.
And she was solid all game long, no?
Yeah, also with the net defense was much better for PLDT 11 compared to just 1 of the Capital One Solar Spikers, and everything in the net was dominated by PLDT.
Okay, thank you, Doc AJ Pareja and Franny Reyes. And that'll do it for this game. A 3-set win by the PLDT high-speed hitters. That's coming up next. Chameleons up against Crossovers. Franny Reyes, thank you very much as well. Again, happy birthday, Sinjin Reyes. And this game coming up next as the heart continues to beat here in the Premier Volleyball League.